Well, Tarek said that the bed was back there somewhere. That bed is not there, but I think they got a king size bed. But if we had to get a queen size or king size bed and put in there, the place is ready to be fully furnished. You know what I mean? Because that's several $100s is missing from the budget. Like all the stuff come up, and that used to barely get us by. But anyway, so lower your bucket. Acres of diamonds. Thursday we'll deal with organizational structure a little bit, but within as the month go on next month, we don't have to run out and do none of this now. But this is the way we're heading. And the patterns that we're talking about, nobody's ever tried this. Everybody has been. There's been no kindness and consideration in management. You either did a good job or you was kicked out, or but it wasn't no like second chance or third chances. Sometimes with Negroes you have to have fifth and sixth chances, maybe even more. Who knows? I'm not down on the brothers, but this is such a special thing that we'll have just simple letters of introduction, and then some of the people even might visit IAC and ask for certain people, and because they might be hooked. They don't want to see me, I don't believe. So we're not going to just sit around and wait for stuff to happen. We're going to begin to make things happen. The other stuff that I was talking about all this media stuff, is do just general research. Actually make a report on how many people you think is watching, what could we do better, what type of media that this would fit and how we could adjust to that. All those things. They got podcasts, they got this, they got that, right? So just an outlook on how you visualize, how you see what's happening, and it would be a little report. Well, this is what's happening, that's what's happening. And we researched the popular forms of, they got Instagram, they got all of those stuff, social media type stuff, right? So remember, we have to upgrade ourselves too. That's what we have to improve. Now we didn't cruise and we saw so now we'll improve, and then when we improve that, we'll improve that, and this is now the cycle. Okay. Also, the self-defining. Self-definition is when you define yourself, and no movement could be really a serious player in the game unless they define themselves. So that's a part of what we're looking to do, is to redefine ourselves. This is who we are. We're not who you say, what y'all been saying. So we'll redefine ourselves. Also, not picking our fights, but I remember, what's the guy? Sugar Ray Leonard was the guy they picked his fights real close till he got real ready, And I remember one fight he had with Benitez, the Puerto Rican guy, in 1980 or something like that, 81. And the guy was actually given, if it was 50-50, it would have to be Benitez 55 or even 60. And then what's his name butted him. I said, man, that nigga gonna cheat. You talking all that, right? And then Benitez really got them headbutts is they throw you off. Because with him, he probably wasn't expecting. I lost all respect for it. I said, there ain't no win. Even when he beat old, what's his name, made him say no mas, whatever that was, down in Panama. I said, oh, forget it. You know, because he cheated. You know what I mean? He cheated, and he's supposed to be, if you know, win or lose a fight, you know, but you can't cheat. Benitez was not trying to butt him, so why he gonna try to beat, and he's losing too? Hey man, that was it for me and Sugar Ray. What I'm saying is it's about movement, it's about character. What those people consider winning, we don't care nothing about it. We're not bound by those type of winning and losings. You know, it's sticking to your character. It's being good. That sounds crazy, but that's what it's all about. Being good. That's really what the bottom line in all this is, goodness. So define yourself, self-define. But pick fights for revival. We done already proved what we, you know, thinking but we're gonna select more in a selective way what we want to challenge at what time for our own reasons. Yeah. We already talked about personal Islamic revival. This is the period we're living in, Islamic revival, not Iqamatul Deen. That was before. The immigrant community was in Islamic revival. If I don't care how far all the books we read, Maududi and all of them, they were trying to revive Islam in their countries. And that's Islamic revival. Like Islamic revival, what they did in Iran, it was Islamic revival. Okay. What we were doing in America in these days was Iqamatul Deen, establishing the Deen, you know. Okay. But now we're in Islamic revival. Everything we had needs revived. The floors down there needs to be scraped up and put down new floors, right? So everything, we really fitting into this one because is to be rejuvenated, to bring vitality and all of that back into what you're doing. But it's when you want to do it and how you want to do it. So that's what that's why we're calling it Islamic revival. Okay. There's a lot of things that and I'll move toward a close, but with all of this, when I used to talk to Abdul Malik about this stuff all the time. So I would always tell him that, okay, now it's time for you to stop talking like Malcolm and start acting like Malcolm. And you know, I don't think he even really liked the idea. Why would I want to be like Malcolm when I can just act like him and not have no problems? Because if I start being like him, well, you know, right, what goes along with that, especially when you got all these people jumping up and down. So I was telling him, hey man, why not? You done got all this experience now. You done been here, seen that. I said, now how about acting like Malcolm? He was almost mad. What? Acting like Malcolm. Instead of just theatrics and just like going to the movie, you know, just playing like, I like playing the part, not doing the part, you know. And in a way, I never could understand that how would you not want to be something instead of acting is like taking a course in acting and you get kudos on how well you play the part of somebody. Well, that's playing their part, you know, and it ain't you. that's okay. We're not going to condemn people for the way they are. We just want them to improve. So, when I go back to Oakland, all of my friends that have been involved in this, I'm going to talk to them more about Islam, about siyasa, or politics, and what it is, and what, because see, when they see you get beat upside the head, they don't understand it because where they come from, you wouldn't take that, you know. And I try to tell them sometimes, I say, you wouldn't take that, but you wouldn't get anywhere. I said, niggas always responding. All they got to do is step on your white shoes, and you go to kill everybody. I said, that's what they do. It's tribalism. They get you. That's why we said in our new Negro, they won't even, we're going to program that ability out of them to respond with violence with each other, right? Because whether it's in Africa, Asia, right here in America, get people fighting each other, and you don't have to worry about nothing else. And they never pay attention to the monster, boss man, right? Because they busy with each other. That's not a cowardly way out, but it's not being big. So we want to explain to them what being big is. We want to explain to them this whole process that we've been dealing with for the last 60 years. Yeah, it's, last 55 years, whatever it is, so that they will understand, you know, where we've been coming from all the time. Because a lot of people in Oakland don't even realize, they looked at what we did and they said, that's big. To them, that's the most important thing. But see, we kept growing and they didn't. So that was big. That's child's play. Driving all them big cars and having a big organization and all that wealth. To them, the ones that had it and lost it, they wishing they could get back to that. And they don't realize how we look at that. No, that ain't big no more. That's just almost, it's almost nothing. Because one of my partners, I asked him to testify at one of the trials because he had some special information. He said, man, you don't want to be rich no more, but I want to be rich. In other words, he knew the relationship between, everybody in Oakland knows the relationship between us and the government. That's why the whole city can watch and not make a whole lot of moves, because they already know what they know what that is, you know. But the subpoena all film and documents related to Clarence Reams, Big Hank, Abdul Ali, Musa, Masjid al-Islam. This goes for the other trial. By the way, whether it's, before we go back there, we're going to have a little package with our legal stuff and talk to some of the people, even the people that are, whether they're good or no good, you know, whether they drive Hummers or regular small cars, doesn't make no difference. As long as they're lawyers. We're going to talk to, we're going to reach out to whether they over at UDC. They got a legal thing over there, right? UDC over at Howard, they still got their legal. Do the attorneys, do they teach like they did in the 50s and 60s in the civil rights mode over there?
Well, I don't know about Howard, but the people I talked to at UBC, they have like special groups within the law school that you give them information and they'll like research it or do whatever, and then they'll focus on whatever
Uh, well, whenever you could organize that or put that together, just give me a few days ahead of time, and I'll put a folder together where they have a little round table or something like that, and you present it to them, and then they ask you questions about it.
That's how it was kind of explained to me when I first.
Shoot. Hey, I'm ready for that. Yeah, and like we say, remember, everybody don't have to be perfect. Some of the people that we'll be going to will be, Ronald Reagan used to call them civil rights hustlers. Somebody else got a name for them too. Hotep hustlers. These are definitely Hotep. Well, you know, if I mention Hummer, you can imagine who I'm gonna be. Yeah, they Hotep hustlers, but it's okay. We're gonna look. We don't know what door this stuff is gonna come through unless we knock at these doors. But the period of just cruising is over. This Islamic revival is real. That this is something that we're actually going to initiate. It's not we're going to initiate, we've already initiated it. Anytime you start focusing on it. Okay, let me speed up. The last thing I'd like to mention is Forest Auto, but we'll deal with that at our next meeting. Because Forest Auto, we made the thing and I took the video by, but we haven't got any response. So, you know, see, they don't have a right to work on my car, and I know that it was a $10 job, and they said they make it into a $400 job, 400 and something, 50, 80, I don't know. And then we drive it back there, and it just stops. And we left it there. We ain't moving it, you know. Okay, if it decays there, there's still decay there. But we know their relationship to our cars. I think my best car was that white Volvo used to sit out there, and that we drove it down to Florida. It was one of them good. It was just a good car, you know. The one that I gave you was a good car, that red Volvo.